discuss Days of Blood and Starlight by Laini Tayolr. I'm Jessica.
And I'm Christeena.
And you're watching
Game of Tomes. This is the second book in the series, and this is going to be a spoilery discussion, so if you haven't read this one, don't play this video. Go to the review. Okay, so, first off, star rating.
Oh, okay. I gave it 4.5.
I'm going to give it 4.
Yeah.
I haven't officially rated it on Goodreads yet, but yeah, I'm going to give it 4.
Cool.
I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
Not as much as the first one.
Yeah.
But I still enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And there were surprises in this one.
Yeah, there was.
And I was like, who is it?
I know, me too. And the surprises are why I gave it a 0.5 more than 4. I got really excited at some points, and I think I didn't know. Like, you know when something exciting happens, you're like, oh, I didn't know I was so invested because...
Yeah. All of a sudden you're like, oh, wow, I really care a lot.
Yeah. So, but I did like the first one better.
I did as well. But I still enjoy this one. I want to continue.
I'm excited to continue.
I am as well. So, the first thing that... Well, okay, first of all, I cried.
You did?
I cried in this book.
Okay, I teared up a little once.
And I cried when she was tending to Ziri, and he was like, use my pain. Use my pain. And I was like, just like silently laying in bed, my husband sleeping, and I'm just crying.
Sounds beautiful. I think I teared up when I thought that Brimstone was going to be in that thurible.
Yeah.
It wasn't, though.
No.
Which was a surprise, but I was happy that it was Issa.
Me too, because I really, really like her.
Speaking of Issa, this book I listened to on Audible, which I read the first one and then decided to listen to the second one. Shout out to the narrator because she was awesome. I especially loved her Issa voice. But she did all different kinds of voices and accents and stuff. Yeah, I thought it was great. Let's say her name. Christine Havam.
And she did. I was actually really surprised. I read it on my Kindle, but then I listened to like the last hour on audio, and I was really surprised because in my head, like I know they're in Prague, but I never gave them accents in my head.
Yeah.
And so then when I got into the audio and listened, I was like, oh, whoa. I was like, yeah, that makes sense, duh.
Right.
You know? But yeah, she was really good.
Yeah, she was really good.
Yeah.
I especially liked her Issa.
I'm also still just upset at the fact that, like, Brimstone is actually dead, though.
I'm still holding out.
Oh my gosh,
I think he's gonna be, like, in the cathedral.
I don't know. But then, like, the whole point of, like, oh my gosh, speaking of that.
What?
I'm bouncing around here.
Yeah.
But when they were talking about, the people going under into the cathedral, but then they were talking about the people who took the sacrifice and was like, we had there for the angels' satisfaction, you know. I was like really kind of that gave me some feels when they were talking about like the people that didn't have anything left and who, you know, were trying to do the sacrifice for their people and things like that, and I was just like hit in the chest with it. And oh my gosh, when Thiago killed Amzalog?
When did this happen?
After when Karoo tried to get like some people on her side, and the shadows that live,
right? And
then he was over there with it, and then
he's like that lost his children.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
did she not bring them back?
Yeah, I think she collected. Yeah, I think it did say that she collected their souls.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
No, she did collect the souls, but she hasn't resurrected them yet. But did she resurrect them?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I don't remember. But I was like, I really liked him, and then like his hope of like his family and like still being alive, and I was just like,
right.
Yeah.
It took me a little while to get into this one, like it did the first one. Like the first one, I was just
immediately hooked. Yeah.
And this one felt kind of bleak. But it got better for me when Zuzana and Mick got there.
Yeah. And I actually really enjoyed that in this book, was that there was a lot more Zuzana and Mick.
Me too.
And I love them.
Yeah.
I love just like who they are. I love their characters and their interactions, and I loved that they interacted with the army.
Me too.
And I thought that was really cool.
And I laughed so much when she said, "Remember the chicken impression."
Yeah. Yeah, that was. Yeah, it was a really good book. Now, in my mind, I meant to try and look up if anybody had done any fan artwork of Jael. How did she say it on the audio?
I think Jael.
Jael. I want to see some fan work of his.
Oh.
You know, like, because in my head it's just like,
gross.
And then when she was talking about him eating and he didn't even like wipe this little like spittle off of his face or whatever, I was like,
That's the thing about him is like, he's the only like ugly and deformed one, and he's the bad guy, and
That's
it's
true.
just it's a trope that is played out a lot, and I feel it makes me feel bad for people with disfigurations and stuff, and they're always getting the bad
portrayal.
You know, like if you're disfigured, then you're hideous to look upon, and you must be evil inside.
Yeah,
I hate that.
that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I understand, you know, where she's coming from, but I just feel like we should, you know, move on from that.
Yeah. Things got a lot. Chapter 71 was intense.
Is that the one where she gets attacked by
Yes.
Thiago? It was very intense.
And I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
And like that was actually one of the most detailed kind of attacks that I've ever come across reading, because like usually scenes like that in books aren't really described, but like that was really descriptive of like his
it was
breath
scary.
And
The
I
things
was
that he
just
said
like I was super anxious reading it the whole time, and I finished a chapter and I was like, my husband said, "Are you okay?" I said, "Yeah, that was just," he said, "sad?" And I said, "No, it was intense." And he's like, "I thought you looked like you were gonna cry." And I was like, "No, it was just like intense, man."
It was.
I feel like that could
that whole
definitely...
thing, it was just like, when you were like, who is it? That's exactly what I did. It just skipped in time, and then you find out, oh, it's, what's his name?
Ziri?
Ziri, thank you. It's Ziri, and it was just, that was crazy. And I like how they replaced 10 too. I did not like
I did
that.
too, and I didn't see that coming, but then when they said it, it
Yeah.
made sense, because she would obviously know
Yes.
straight up, you know,
Right.
that something is wrong.
Yeah.
And I like that she replaced her with the girl that she was friends with in her other life.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool.
I did too. I wonder how they did that. Did they say how they killed her?
No.
When they were back? Yeah, I didn't think so.
No. I'm gonna bet that, you know, obviously, Thiago had a lot to do with that.
I would say so.
Yeah. And, okay, I'm just saying, I'm no longer on the Cairo and Akiva bandwagon. I'm officially on the Cairo and Ziri bandwagon. I love him so much.
I think he's wonderful. I don't think it'll happen.
I don't either.
I felt so bad for him at the very last scene when
He was like looking at her, and she was just like looking at
Akiva, and Akiva was looking at her, and
yeah.
they were just gonna look at each other for a while before the war started.
Light their fuse, and then he was just over there like, and I feel so bad for him, because like he gave up everything for her.
He did.
You know,
He has.
his natural body, and
Yeah.
I mean he was the last Kieran
Yeah.
ever, and he gave it without any like questioning. He just so I think they're like the only ones left, basically. But now neither one of them have their natural bodies,
Right.
which is kind of sad, because they sound beautiful
Yeah.
with the
Yeah.
horns and the bat wings, and then their legs, you know.
This would be a hard movie to make.
I looked it up, and someone did buy the movie rights for it,
Wow.
but there's no word on like
Who or what? Did you say who? Did it say who?
yeah, but I don't remember.
Or like if it's gonna be made is what I meant to say.
I think I read that they got a producer for it. Universal Pictures has acquired the rights for a film adaptation. The producer for the movie was announced on December 18th, 2012. Announced March 15th, 2013, the writer charged with adapting the novel for the big screen is Stuart Beattie.
BT.
BG.
BT.
So, I mean, that was 4 years ago.
Mm.
I don't know. It would be a really hard movie to adapt, but I would love to see it.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
watch it. But at the same time, I'd be like afraid that they would kind of
Screw it up.
or just that, you know, sometimes when your favorite things get made into movies,
It doesn't live up to what you have in your head.
yeah, and especially YA, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
why that is.
Well, the ending, I thought it was a nice way to kind of.
How did Akiva and Laraz escape with Hazael?
Because he magic. That was when the sky was like zooming by or whatever, and
Yeah.
I think he basically just like blew everything up because the glass building shattered, and it didn't say more than that. It was like it was like the sky was all rushing in on him,
Mm-hmm.
and then it blew back out, and
Yeah.
I think that's when he like shattered everything and ran off. So
But
they
he didn't
weren't
destroy the bad dude.
They weren't sure. At the end, they were talking about if they weren't sure if he was still alive or not, and Laraz says that she hopes he was, but then the Dominion still got through. So I'm assuming that yes, he is.
I would assume too.
Yeah, which actually was the closest we've gotten to kind of seeing a little bit of the Stellians. I assumed it was her when he was doing that magic thing or whatever with the clouds.
Yeah.
And it switched to like the princess.
Yes.
And then she flew off to try and find the disturbance. So I'm kind of hoping that like they're gonna get involved now.
Well,
and,
yeah. I'd
you
say
know,
so.
yeah. So I'm actually really excited about that.
I am too.
And
I'm also excited to see how like humans react to there being like, a huge army of angels.
Yeah. So now basically I'm assuming that there's just gonna be a big old battle on Earth. Between Chimera and angels. And Cairo made the really good point that
I say Karoo,
and
that's how she says it.
I switch it every time I say it. I say
yeah.
it differently.
Uh-huh.
But she made a really good point when she said that we can't just go and attack them because humans are going to see us and automatically think that like we're the bad ones,
Right.
you know. And I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be interesting.
I think that's really cool.
Yeah. One thing I was kind of actually disappointed about
was
you kept talking about how you wanted to know how she goes from teeth to body.
Yeah.
And, like, I thought we were going to get into that, but we still didn't.
No.
And it's like, I want to know.
Yeah, it just feels unexplained. It feels like this gap in the magic.
I feel almost that, like, maybe she's not sure how she wants to explain it, or you know what I mean. I kind of get the feeling like because she went so into detail about it, except for that part, and so I feel like maybe she didn't have a plan for exactly how that goes on.
It does feel that way.
You know what I mean? And I'm just kind of like,
I think at this point we're not gonna get.
I don't think so either, and I'm kind of bummed out about it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So
I thought it was really funny that all at once all of the museums started losing all the teeth of their animals.
Yeah.
I thought that was great.
Yeah.
I think they should have been doing that from the beginning.
Yeah, you know, why not? Because you were having to go and deal with all these other people, and
there's a bunch of taxidermy out there that you can just...
Yeah, you could. But, you know. Okay, I don't know what else to talk about.
All right, I think
I feel like we're winding down.
Yeah, oh my gosh. We had a photo shoot this morning.
We did. It was actually a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun, except that it was cold.
It was like 30-something degrees.
And we woke up before dawn to get the sunrise.
It was cloudy.
That did not exist.
Did not exist. It was a lot of fun, and of running to take photos at the graveyard and then jump in the van and warm up and go back to the graveyard and Jesus statue and anyway, we're
ready for a nap.
So we're tired.
Okay, good night.
Bye.
Oh, we should probably say things.
If you have read this book, we would love to discuss it.
Let's discuss
obviously. I mean, we said it in Daughter of Smoke and Bone.
Yeah.
did not expect to enjoy this as
Right.
much as I have.
Yeah, this series.
And I think, like, this series might actually become, like, one of my favorite series of all time.
Yeah.
Because it's just, I love the world.
It's so unique.
Yeah.
A unique story.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, let us know if you've read it. Obviously, we would love to discuss. If you haven't, you
Why are you watching
aren't
this?
watching this. If you haven't read it and you watch this, like, oh, whatever.
Alright, come be our friends. You can reach us on other places on the internet, and you will find those links in the description below.
And we hope you're reading a good book.
Bye!
Bye. Mom started reading 50 Shades of Grey? Oh, good for her. She makes me want, like, somebody to call me Sweet Child, you know?
Sweet child.
Thank you. Can you say it with an accent?
Sweet child.
That's better.